Hello everyone, and welcome to naturalpethealthalternatives.com. Thank you for finding this video. I'm going to show you a little bit about how to make a raw food diet for your dog. Now, this is all about the canine diet, natural nutrition for dogs, how to prepare a homemade raw food diet. And I'm focusing tonight on raw food because this is what people are asking about. So if I can do it, you can do it. Let me show you how. This is about real food for healthy dogs. And in the picture is my Gracie, and this is a bowl of food. It looks watery and pink, and that's how it should look when it is done. This is easy and convenient. No preservatives, no mystery meat, no fillers, no grains, no additives, and nothing artificial. We're not talking kibble here. You can have big advantages with just a little effort. Better health, shiny coat, no doggy smell, cleaner teeth, and no bad breath. Lower vet bills, less chronic disease as your dog ages, and less need for medications. Now I'm asking you, what is your dog's preference? So right here on this page, I selected the ingredients in a popular high-quality brand. I'm not naming any brands. We're not going to do that. But let's just go through these. Deboned chicken, chicken meal, oatmeal, ground brown rice, ground barley, peas, tomato pumice, rice, ground flaxseed, tomatoes, chicken fat, carrots, natural chicken flavor, etc. And instead of eating that, I'm going to show you an alternative. It looks like in this picture, this dog doesn't want to eat that food. And I hear from many of my clients that their dogs, especially when their dogs are sick, they don't want to eat. They don't have an appetite. And even when they were healthy, they didn't have so much of an appetite. They didn't want to eat their kibble. Let's take a closer look. Is this what you really need for long-term health? Is this what your dog needs? And we take a closer look at this. I just reorganized a few of them so we could talk about them individually. The proteins in here, deboned chicken and chicken meal. Do you know what chicken meal is? The word meal is on a lot of pet food labels. And meal is, it could be chicken feet and beaks. It could be whatever is, skin. It's all ground up, and it's made into a slurry, made into some kind of a mush, put through an extrusion process that makes them into these tiny kibbles, and then baked. It's cooked. So that's chicken meal. And then, of course, deboned chicken is the first ingredient. That's pretty good. But now when we look at the next ingredients, oatmeal, rice, more rice, barley, these are grains. And grains are not naturally part of a canine's diet. Next ingredients, peas, tomato pumice, ground flaxseed, tomatoes, and carrots. Well, some of those are pretty good, although peas are very high in carbohydrates, and so are carrots. Chicken fat is the fat that they have chosen for calories in this dog food. And then they finish it up with some chicken flavor. I wonder why they're adding chicken flavor. Shouldn't chicken taste like chicken? But no, they added chicken flavor, and we don't know what that means. Is it artificial? No, it says natural, but is it something that contains MSG? We don't know. And then there were some micronutrients added, some vitamins and so forth, that I did not copy from their label. This is the main part of the nutrition that that dog might be getting if they eat that particular food. Now, dogs and cats need meat. Cats pretty much only will eat meat. That's what they want. And they are obligate carnivores. They eat meat. Dogs will eat meat and vegetables, and that's what they need to balance their diet. No wonder these animals are looking at those burgers. I would too if I were fed that bowl of dried food. Real raw meat is what we're talking about. Now in this picture, I've got some ground turkey necks, organ meat, a mix of ground beef, heart, beef liver, and green tripe. And when I was buying this from a meat supplier, I had to buy each thing individually and portion it out into the bowls, into the deli containers, so that I would have the right combination. Now I have found a different supplier who mixes it all together for me, customizes it. I'm very fortunate here in Portland, Oregon. I have exactly what I need for my dog. But what you want to do is have something that has some bones mixed in, some organ meat mixed in, and this will help balance the types of proteins for the dog, as well as with the bones ground in, you're getting the right amount of calcium mixed in. Now, where can you find meat for your dogs? I get this question quite a bit because people call me from all over the place and they're looking for meat in the grocery store. And my suggestion is to find a specialty pet store that has a freezer with raw meat in it. Meat only, not the other fresh types that you see advertised on television that have all of the other things added to it, all of the grains and so forth. You don't want that. Or you can go to a meat supplier. Somebody who supplies meat to restaurants is what I usually talk to people about. That's where I get my meat, from Ponderosa Meats in Aloha here in Oregon. And they do a custom blend. Now, the reason why I don't want people running to the grocery store to give meat to their dog, raw meat to their dog, is that grocery store meat it tends to have a higher bacteria count and really is required to be cooked. It is meant to be cooked. And for a dog who is not well, perhaps their immune system is compromised in some way, maybe you don't want meat that is too high in bacteria. In general, a dog can handle a little bit of bacteria. Their gut is pretty strong, but for a sensitive animal, for one whose immune system might be compromised, you want to be careful about that. Meat for dogs is ground. It's completely ground, packaged, and immediately frozen. And this is how I like to get my meat. I want to make sure, actually, the person who grinds the meat for me showed me his equipment. They throw the bones and the meat in together, not leg bones. They're using chicken backs, turkey necks. The soft, small bones are all ground up. Meat, no skin, no big bones. From what he has is a poultry blend of duck, turkey, chicken. No, so that's in his poultry blend. And then I have him add 10% organ meat, which would be the beef heart, beef liver, green tripe. And then it goes through the grinder. It's immediately packaged into these vacuum-packed bags and immediately frozen again. It's heavy-duty equipment, kind of hard to do yourself. That's why you want to find somebody who is competent and clean to do it for you. When you take a package out, you want to thaw it just enough to divide the meat into meal-sized portions. You don't want meat sitting out growing bacteria, right? So you can leave it in the refrigerator to thaw overnight or just for a little while out on the counter. Just to divide it into meal-sized portions, you're going to combine the meats to vary the proteins and have enough for a few meals. Now, you also want to add different protein sources. You want to vary the proteins in the overall diet, so it's not the same thing all the time. Sometimes give eggs, raw eggs even. If you want to cook them, you can cook them. But raw, we're talking raw food, raw eggs are perfectly fine. Cottage cheese, cooked fish. I'm going to emphasize cooked fish here because certain kinds of fish can have parasites in it or cause some problems like raw salmon. You would never give raw salmon to a dog. Consider yogurt and different kinds of fish and different kinds of meat. Raw vegetables would be another important ingredient. In the mix I use, I like to have lots of green beans. I buy frozen green beans that are already cut, fresh broccoli, parsley, just a small amount of carrots. Gracie's very healthy. For a healthy dog, you can have a little bit of carrots or sweet potatoes even. Celery, zucchini, what else is in there? That's pretty much the mix that I use. But you can add kale if you want to, perhaps other green vegetables. Try to stay away from the sweet ones, certainly no peas, and minimize carrots and sweet potatoes if your dog is facing a serious illness. I put my vegetables into a food processor, as you can see here. To chop it up small helps to break it down a little bit. And then by putting it into a deli container like this, it gets broken down a little bit more because a freezer will help break it down without losing the nutrient value in the vegetables. So they're ready whenever you need them. I put them in the freezer. I prepare probably about 14 of these all at once. It takes very little time, maybe 20 minutes to do all of it all together, washing, cutting, and all of that. And packaging it into these, it maintains freshness, nutritional value, and I have complete control over quality, the blend, and the freshness. There's nothing mysterious about that. You know exactly what's going into your vegetable mix. I also like to have on hand this. This is Honest Kitchen Preference grain-free base mix. It's meant to be mixed with meat. So there is no meat in this. It's just dehydrated vegetables. Easy to prepare. You just add water and mix it with some meat. So what I like to do is put a bunch of this, maybe a couple cups worth, into a deli container, add water, and let it sit to rehydrate. Some of the vegetables I give to Gracie are the rehydrated vegetables like this, and some the previously frozen mix that I made myself. Now you can see in this grain-free mix, they still have sweet potatoes. They have pumpkin, and some of the vegetables that are in there I don't add to my vegetable mix. So it's nice to have a higher nutritional profile that will balance out everything you need for a healthy dog. Also, it's important to have healthy oils, not the chicken fat that you saw in that commercial dog food, but healthy oils that are going to work well with the body. Flax oil, fish oil, olive oil, coconut oil. These are some of the ones I recommend. And of course, you're not going to add each different kind of oil to the meal, but maybe in the evening you'll have olive oil. Perhaps in the morning you'll have flax oil. Certainly with every meal I add fish oil, and then once in a while a little coconut oil. Now to balance the meal, we're going to add a couple of things. One is Nature's Logic Food Fortifier. It's for dogs and for cats. It has vitamins and minerals. It has enzymes and probiotics. It's all mixed in there, and it tastes pretty yummy. Yes, I've had a taste of it. I can verify it's pretty yummy. It's good to add to the raw food. Also, I put a couple of extra products here, Yeast Buster and Geniflora. These are available from genifloraforpets.com. Talk to Neil when you call him and tell him I sent you. Tell him Rosemary from Portland sent you, that he'll take good care of you. These are vital, especially for dogs who are going through an imbalance in their immune system. You will love the effects, the combination of these with all the other things you're doing. Fantastic. Now, choosing the right supplements is interesting. A lot of people just don't know where to go or what to do, but I can provide an intuitive assessment for you so that you don't have to guess. People ask me about turmeric. I like turmeric. People ask me about antioxidants. I have several recommendations for antioxidants. But when I hear people talk about pain medication, something for arthritis, something for recovering from surgery or dealing with cancer, I'm very concerned about that. I like to work with you on that and have you feel good about the supplements that you are choosing. You can get more information from my website, naturalpethealthalternatives.com, or just give me a call or email me through my website, and I will be able to help you with what specifically your dog needs, whether it's for detoxification, supporting the immune system, or incorporating antioxidants. Now, why? Why do you want to do this? Because of environmental challenges, stress, toxic overload, and nutritionally depleted soils. We can't possibly get everything from our foods, so we have to supplement. To support healthy cells and a healthy immune system, really important, especially for dogs and cats who are going through disease challenges, injury, recovery from surgery, and to help rebuild and rejuvenate. This is where it all begins. It all starts with giving the body the right materials that it needs in order to recover. Now here's Gracie's dinner. I thought I'd show you what that looks like. It's got all the different bits of raw meat in there. There's a small spoonful of ground vegetables and a spoonful of rehydrated Honest Kitchen vegetable mix and some supplements that I've added in. Finally, of course, we're going to add hot filtered water. I like to boil filtered water in a tea kettle, not microwaved, and we certainly will not microwave this meal. We will not cook this meal either. And that's what her meal looks like. Now, to add, once in a while, it's nice to give a raw meaty bone. I'm going to caution you before I tell you why you want to do that. Caution because you want to monitor your pet for choking. Some animals are over-ambitious and can choke. You want to be around to catch that. Also, these meaty bones are femur bones. They're very high in fat content, and some dogs don't do well with that. They might not be able to digest that much fat. So you just want to give your dog this kind of bone once in a while. It helps clean their teeth, strengthen muscles, and your dog will love it. Rib bones are also good. And notice these are raw. They are not cooked. You would never give your dog a cooked steak bone or a cooked rib bone. Cooked bones are brittle, and they can splinter and cause injury and death, so you don't want that. But raw meaty bones, much softer, and but still, always monitor. Now, here are a few important extra steps. One, this is easy to get right. It's hard to make a mistake on this. Consider your dog's needs based on age, activity, and current health. A few well-chosen supplements can add value for balanced nutrition. A dog's gut can handle a raw diet. Some people are really surprised by that because their dog is so sick or their dog has been on a prescription diet for a long time. Well, guess what? This might be better. And I would also suggest using a non-toxic bowl such as a ceramic one, not metal or plastic. And certainly avoid meat that smells off. You can tell. You don't want to give your dog something that might compromise their system. Don't leave meat out at warm temperatures because that would help bacteria grow, and then the meat might not be safe for your individual dog. In general, For healthy dogs, probably not an issue, but I would hate for you to take a chance. Don't cook meat or bones before serving. We're talking a raw food diet here. If it's been determined that this is something you want to do, something you want to try, we're not talking about cooking. I do talk to some people about a homemade diet that is cooked meat. That's a different deal. This is raw. You're not going to cook it. Don't add grains such as corn or rice. You'll find many recipes out there where rice is added to meat. And rice, remember, is a grain. It's not something that is part of the canine diet. In general, dogs don't need this. Substitute meaty treats for the usual dog biscuit. So if your dog's on a raw food diet, then maybe you can also look for meaty treats. I like the ones we get that are called real meat. Look for ones that are made in the United States. Avoid foreign manufactured treats that have fewer regulations on what they are offering. And don't mix commercial dog foods, kibble, with raw if you are transitioning to raw food. They digest at different rates. Raw food is easily digested. And kibble, what does kibble do? It's not as easily digested. It sits around in the gut and it starts to ferment. And then your dog has bloating and gas and upset stomach. So you don't want to mix the two. If you feel like you must give kibble, don't mix it with the raw. Give it as a separate meal. And then you might get one of those looks like, what's that? I'm not eating that anymore. Don't you remember? And what about how much your dog needs for meat? Well, the amount of meat is based on your dog's current weight. You give your dog about 2 to 4% of your dog's body weight, your total weight, and that's the amount of meat per day. If you are not sure how much your dog should weigh, ask your vet, or perhaps you can look it up to find out how much a dog of your type should weigh. I see a lot of obese dogs out there. You want to make sure that your dog is carrying a healthy weight. Now, what determines that percentage, that 2 to 4%, is a pretty wide variety or wide variance. So age will help determine how many calories your dog needs. Of course, a younger dog needs more calories as they grow. So give a higher percentage of food to younger dogs, less for older ones. Also, activity. More active dogs burn calories faster than less active dogs. So give your active dog more food to maintain weight. Cut back on the amount if your dog weighs more than he or she should. Notice I said cut back on the food. I didn't say change the food to a low-calorie diet, right? I'm not talking about that. We don't do that. I have never done that because what you are offering in this beautiful, balanced raw food diet is the perfect combination. You don't have to change anything that's perfect. All you want to do is give more or less, depending upon what your dog needs. For example, when Gracie was 2 years old, she weighed about 65 pounds. She had long walks or ran after balls at least 3 times per day, and she also did dog agility work. So when she was young and burned a lot of calories, we gave her 3 meals a day and about 2 pounds of meat total. Just the meat, 2 pounds. That's why I gave her 3 meals a day, because the amount of meat was so much that it was impossible to give her comfortably 2 meals a day. So she had 3 meals a day, and that worked out great for her. In middle age, at age 6, she weighed about 75 pounds and was still very active, but her metabolism was beginning to slow down. She started gaining weight and showed less interest in eating her usual 3 meals. She actually didn't have an appetite for a breakfast anymore, and we brought her to the vet every few weeks just to get her on the scale to see how much she weighed, and that's how we knew she was gaining weight. So we started cutting back on the amount of meat as well as the frequency of her meals, and we found the right balance. Her diet didn't change, just the amount of food she was getting. Now in January of 2016, Gracie tore a ligament in her knee, and at that age she had to be less active. She couldn't run. We did get a brace that helped support her in her healing, and because she was much less active, she began to put on weight, and she was up to about 84 pounds. Yikes, right? And as a heavy dog, that was hard on her. It was hard on her joints. It was hard on her energy level. It was hard on her healing as well. And so here's what we did. We cut back a little bit on the amount of food, and we added even more specific supplements to help her heal more quickly. Injuries can lead to scarring, can lead to arthritis, misalignment of hips and spine while favoring the injury. And so this brace helped get her back into alignment so she could put weight on that foot again. And all of the supplements that I did for her, as well as essential oils, Reiki, tuning forks, and cold laser, helped her to heal. And she's walking perfectly fine without her brace now, and gaining muscle mass because she has the right diet. That was a lot. Now, I'd like to say that if you have a special need, that we can go in a little bit more special direction. Special would be an aging dog, one who is facing cancer, is trying to recover from surgery, has some other thing going on, digestion, immune system, whatever it happens to be. And these require special needs, given special attention. Again, I do assessments for that, and I am actually putting together another video for you that will address some of these special needs dogs. In the meantime, before we have that video available, I would like to recommend that you get a copy of my book, Heal Together, Natural Health Solutions for Animals and Their Humans. You can get this book on Amazon, and certainly you can always call me as well. I offer a free consultation. It doesn't cost you anything at all to have a chat with me, and we'll see if we can work together if this is something that you would like some help with, whether your dog is healthy now or you want him or her to stay healthy for the entire lifetime, then we can certainly work on that together. Again, naturalpethealthalternatives.com. Thank you so much. I look forward to hearing from you.